Hi everybody, welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, that's Jack.
Hello everybody.
And today we're going to do kind of an update on one we tried the other day. We got some suggestions about it, so we're going to try this out. Instead of using Brussels sprouts, we're going to use broccoli. So let's see how this goes. Before we get into it, be sure to like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate that. Hit the little bell for notifications for when we upload these things on Tuesdays and Fridays. And let's get into it. So, it's not a lot, but you're going to need broccoli, which big thing, get more, less, this is just one head, this is more than enough. You're going to need bacon, we're only going to use half of it, and then some whipped cream, which is just like 1 cup of it, some cheese, we got our mozzarella block that's left over, and some parmesan stuff, a little bit of butter, I think it's only like 1 tablespoon.
Yeah, but 1 tablespoon.
Supposed to call for like 3 things of garlic, so we used like 8.
We have a problem.
And garlic powder because can't have too much, and then crushed red pepper flakes. So go ahead and get your bacon and chop it up into these smaller pieces like we did before. All right, just go ahead and cut them down, start those heating up, and then salt, go over broccoli. Now you can cut it down, you know, make Treebeard angry with you, cut down all the little stump stuff. If you don't have this, you can use regular scissors or you can use a knife like the civilized people.
Yeah, but kitchen shears make this so much easier.
Oh yeah. I'm terrified for my fingers through most of this. Now I left the stumps, I guess, or the centerpieces of the thing in there. Just kind of fill this out because that's edible and I don't want to lose it. So I kind of trim this down. You do the same thing with that. Now your garlic you can take and you can like grate it and get it small, or you can just take a knife and chop it up. I don't mind the thick stuff.
Yeah.
So just go ahead and cut it down. Now when you're cutting, be sure to curve your fingers away from your knife so you won't get the end of your fingers. I try that, but it's not always able to do it when you got this chopping this little stuff. So I just cut this down, run it through the knife a few times, try to get it as small as possible. Now your bacon, once it gets nice and browned and it gets all that oil out of it, man, like I said, don't let it stick, don't let it keep turning. Now use cast iron for this, by the way.
Yeah, you're going to
have to stick it in the
again.
oven. So get your secret weapon, your paper plate and your paper towel out. George Foreman can just deal with it. Try to leave as much grease in there as you can. Add your tablespoon of the butter, and then add your garlic. And then this is where it starts smelling great. Like this is really cheatery. And then go ahead and add your broccoli in here. Like,
Ew, broccoli.
You can get this, like I missed this one piece. Apparently it was really big. So you can just go ahead and break this down. Be careful. It's already hot on the bottom, so if one escapes like it did for me, and you grab it, it will burn the living crap out of you. I'll go ahead and season it here. I'm going to put some of the Italian seasoning in this one. That's the optional thing. And then the red pepper flakes and the garlic powder.
A lot of red pepper flakes.
Yeah, there wasn't enough coming out of the little spigot thing. See, that one burned me right there. That was horrible.
Apparently it was really hot.
I made some excellently manly noises when I did that. So after 2 or 3 minutes, it's going to start cooking down in here. You can kind of see where it's not quite wilting. You don't want it just completely cooked. This is where you add that cup of the heavy whipping cream. And you let it simmer there. But once it starts boiling anyway, just go ahead and add your cheese. Now we shredded it. Use the grater thing and then your parmesan stuff. And make sure you get all that stuff. If you want to use more cheese, that's, you know, more cheese is hardly a bad thing unless you're trying not to drown in cheese.
Yeah.
And then more cheese is worse. You gotta stir it down a little bit, and then once you get done, you need to put it in your oven at 400 degrees. Now, hopefully you just start preheating this when you started doing the other stuff, but yeah, it doesn't matter. You can sit here, let it simmer while you preheat, and then stick it in there. Let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes or until the cheese starts boiling and stuff, right?
Yeah.
The bacon you can just eat, or you can add it on top. I've seen some people use like the bacon bits.
Yeah, you could use bacon bits, but
instead.
we went with actual bacon.
Right. So you can sprinkle those on and put it in there. So once it starts nice and boily, pull it out, let it sit before you serve it, because if you serve boiling cheese to people, they're going to be very upset. But this was super cheap. This was really good, especially if you're into broccoli. This was great. I'm eating on this still. This is really good. But just the one head of broccoli made enough for 2 or 3 people, easy. So I enjoyed that one. Well, there you have it, man. This one's a lot more palatable to me. I enjoyed this one. This is really good. Smells great. Tastes great. Love it. If you want to try it, you want to try something different, you do something different, let us know down in the comments, man. We'd love to revisit this one again. I'd love to put some other kind of meat in there, like throw in some chicken or beef or some thin sliced pork. That sounds great. But until we see you again, we're on YouTube's all the time. You can find us uploading on Tuesdays and Fridays. You can get us any other time at Facebook, Patreon, and Pinterest at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen there, or you can find us at Instagram at Living Between there. And until the next time, we'll see you then.